So spellings, 4 basic spellings, 5F. First rule, before most consonants, or b, m, p, or bet, mem, and pe, it is spelled with shurek. Well, that's about 50% of the time. It's spelled with shurek. For example, if we have v plus melech. The rules of Hebrew do not tolerate too many a sounds in a row. So if it's not ve melech, it will be u melech. So ve would actually change into u. And eki. Another example, ve par o, which is Pharaoh, would be u par o. It just sounds better this way, phonetically. So it would be and Pharaoh. Before vocal Shabbat, it is spelled with shurek. For example, if we have sefarim, which is books, and then you add ve with another Shabbat, Hebrew does not tolerate 2 Shabbats in a row. We learned that from the previous chapters. So that means it will change into shurek again. It will be u sefarim. And then the second example, ve shmuel or shemuel. Again, double Shabbat is not tolerated in Hebrew. It will be u shmuel or u shemuel. And same. Another rule, which is the third one, before hatef vowels, it is spelled with a corresponding short vowel. What is hatef vowel? Hatef patha, hatef kametz, hatef sigol. These are reduced vowels. That means that the vav will appear before these reduced vowels with the lengthened form of the same vowel. So it's easy. If you see that vav appears before the shortened vowel, it has to have the corresponding vowel but longer, without hatef. So if it's kametz hatef, what vowel will be under vav? Kametz. If it's hatef patha, will be patha. If it's hatef sigol, will be sigol. Okay? I hope that's clear. Alright, and the examples are right there. Anashim, which means man. Ve anashim will actually change to va anashim. And ve plus emet, which is truth, will change to ve emet, with corresponding longer sigol. And then the fourth rule, before monosyllabic words and words with initial accent, it is spelled with comments. Monosyllabic words are such words as soul, or bite, or ish, lechem in this case. So in this case, they will be spelled with comments, not patha, comments. Because they have to have longer vowel, since the following syllable is only monosyllabic. Yes.
So does Bethlehem mean house of bread?
Yes. Well, what is the connection that you're making?
You already know. There means house.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't connect anything in this rule. Yeah. I thought you were trying to make a connection between grammatic rules. Just eureka. Yeah. But that's what the name Bethlehem means, the house of bread. And it's interesting because in the book of Ruth, when they come back from Moab, they come to Bethlehem. It was a starving land before, but now they come to Bethlehem, to the house of bread, and there's harvest there. Exercises for this chapter, exercise 5. You can do everything besides advanced exercises. If you move too fast, you can do advanced exercises. But do not skip the section on exegesis, because it will make this book much more fun to read. For example, I read for today's chapter the portion of exegetical exercise, and it was saying that when God is passing before Abraham, he says of himself, and I am slow to anger in English. In Hebrew, actually, and I am with a long nose.
Yeah.
What? Sorry. Okay, so what does that mean? I am the God with a long nose. I mean, that doesn't describe that God has a long nose.
Sticks his nose never has business.
You see, there's a connection here with etymology of the word anger. The word anger comes from the word nose, af. So the picture of anger is steam coming out of your nose. That means you're angry. So God has a long nose, so it takes a long time for steam to come to the nostrils to actually judge you or to become angry at you. So by having a long nose, it's another word of saying I am long suffering or patient towards you. See, it doesn't mean that the God has a long, usually Jewish nose. That's not the picture that they're trying to convey. It talks about his slowness to anger, but through that picture in your mind, you will understand it better than just, oh, he's slow to anger. Slow to anger. Oh, he has a long nose. What's that mean? You see, and that was the reason why Jewish children were learning about God through these pictures. If the father is reading, and I have a long nose, then the son will say, why does God have a long nose? So it's an opportunity for a father to explain to him, you see, because when you have a short nose, that means you're angry or you're getting frustrated faster. But if you have a longer nose, the steam out of you doesn't reach the outside, so you're not appearing to the other people as being angry, and so on and so forth. So it's a lesson opportunity. Everything in the Jewish culture is built into a lesson, visual lesson. It makes children ask questions and gives an opportunity for parents, not for Sunday school teachers or for pastors or somebody else, but for parents to explain things about God to their children. See that? Because that's the responsibility of the father. And they will do it at the table, before they go to bed, when they rise up, and so on and so forth. Okay, any questions about conjunction verb and definite article? It shouldn't be too difficult. Let's move on to chapter 6 then. Chapter 6, Hebrew prepositions. And the corresponding handouts will begin with 6a, b, c, and so on. Okay. Let's see. There is such a thing as independent preposition in Hebrew language. These prepositions usually stand alone. That means they're not adjusted to the neighboring words. They're called independent. Let's see. Examples are lifnei. Lifnei, that means before. Tahat means under. Ahar means after, and bein means between. These prepositions are usually standalone words before whatever noun they modify, or between whatever nouns they modify. So they will not be adjacent to anything. Thus, they will not change the appearance of the other nouns. For example, you have in your handouts, Lifnei Hamelech. before the king or in front of the king. Lifnei means to, and panim means face, means to the face, in your face. That's where the etymology of the word lifnei comes from. Lifnei means before, but it's actually to your face. Tahat means under, so tahat ha'etz means under the tree. Okay, that's example of independent prepositions. There are some prepositions that are called makef prepositions. This is that little horizontal line that appears usually, let's say, before one word and after the other. It actually joining symbol. It's called makef. We learned about symbol for kamletz hatuf. It's called what? Method. This one is makef. That's why the prepositions are called makef. For example, if you'll see el hahehal, to the temple. Usually, these are directional prepositions. So they're, with this pointer, they're actually showing you where is the direction of this preposition. To the temple, or towards the temple. El hahehal means to or towards the temple. Min haaretz. Min means from the land. Or out of the land. Okay? This is the second class of prepositions, and then these are examples on the blackboard. That's al, el, ad, and min. Al means up to, el towards, ad up as far as, and min from. So if you want to say, I'm going as far as Bethlehem, you would say ad Bethlehem. Meaning that's your final destination, but you're still on the way. If you'll say, I'm going to Jerusalem, you'll usually say, I'm going up to Jerusalem. I'm going al Jerusalem, because the Jerusalem is on the hill. And there's a whole section of psalms which are called ascending psalms, or psalms of ascension, which means when you enter or ascend into Jerusalem, you usually sing those songs. And there's descension psalms. When you go down the hill, you sing those songs. Yes, Eric?
Is there a connection with the, L means God, right?
No. L is a directional marker.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm missing something.
It's a different
Oh.
instead of
L instead of
L instead of ale.
L. Oh my goodness.
It's L, Eric, not
Pronunciation
L.
issue. Okay.
All right. And there are also prepositions that are called inseparable prepositions. These prepositions are prefixed directly to their object, such as b, k, l, and others. B means in, k means like or as, le means to or towards. It's not on this sheet, but just heads up.
How does
B, l, k. What?
how does le differ from L?
L shows the direction, towards.
Okay.
Le means to, here, give a gift to the king. I'm going towards Jerusalem, that means I'm not there yet.
So it would be a direction of travel.
Yeah.
of sorts.
Yeah. Direction of travel. So, besadeh, in the field. How would you say in the field? You will have to substitute that shva for ba-sadeh. We'll get to it. Ke melech, like a king, or